I'm going to show you how to build my Lego Harrier AV8B. So it's not broken up completely, but it's in different modules, and okay, I'll start with the main one. This is the functional mechanism, the one that controls the landing gear. So this is the top. Every single piece here, you'll think that this looks a little bit silly, these whole plates here, but they're all necessary so that the landing gear open and close properly. And I'll show you this from the other angle. I hope it's not too complicated to follow. I don't really want to just take it apart, the whole thing apart on camera, but this should give you a good enough insight into how to build it. And yeah, I would imagine that it won't really work very well unless you follow it exactly. Okay, so onto this, I'm going to put the section which goes underneath. Now, it's just a whole bunch of these underneath sort of tiles, these curved tiles that go underneath. Two 2x6 plates sit in there, holding it all together. And they go in like so. Is that right? No, they go further back. Yeah, that's it. And then another assembly here. You can probably see how that's made. Sits right over there. Yeah, seems straightforward enough. I hope it is. Alright. On top of this goes this assembly. Right there, okay. I'll show you how this one's made. So, some snot bricks go along here, on plates, on two 1x whatever plates. So I mean, it's just like a 1x6 and a 1x10, I think. Two bricks at the end on a 1x4. Now that goes on top here, flush with the front landing gear and overhanging slightly the back landing gear. Next, we'll put this piece on. Simple enough thing. That fits in the back there. What else? Yeah. So then we build this thing. It's made of these kind of like, they go click when you turn them. I don't know what they're called though. They're some sort of clicking hinge piece. Anyway, we build two of those, each mirrored, and we'll fit them on the side there, on the snot bricks, and there's another one which goes on the other side. Then we build these, so 2x4, and this black thing is kind of like the grooves that the engines blast out there, thrust down. That's kind of why they're black anyway. They go on each side like this. And I guess we can put the first engines on. So the back engines are these, a cheese wedge on top of a 1x1 Technic brick with a cross-shaped hole in it. Now, with the landing gear, when you're putting the gears in, everything has to be lined up perfectly, because when the landing gear's up, when the landing gear's up, the engines have to be facing this way. It all has to be angled perfectly, otherwise it just won't work. I mean, it will just be all out of place. The front one has to be functioning together with the back one. You may notice that there's a bit of rub here if you press down on the Harrier when you're driving it along, but you shouldn't really come across that unless you actually press it down. Okay. Then we'll put this assembly on. Now, this assembly has I think it's a 1x10, is it? Let's see. It has a 1x12 red Technic axle running through. It doesn't have to be red, obviously. And then a 1x4 one at the other end. So this holds these bent Technic pieces in. Those are necessary for the anhedral wings, giving them their shape. And there's a 2x6 on the top. No, it's a 2x... Let's see, yeah. I mean, it's a 2x6 and a 2x3. They're together, and some curved pieces are over the top, just to make it look good, basically. That's all it's for. And that just goes on the top there. As you can see, the back is starting to look quite built up. Then there's this whole thing. It's just a 2x6 brick with that for the cockpit. The cockpit, the way that it opens isn't actually accurate to the actual AV8B, but it looks so much better than any alternative mechanism I could have made. I thought I'd just leave it. That just goes on there like so, and you take these two bricks to cover it all up. Well, not bricks, but curved pieces. You'll notice I changed it slightly from the last video. I think it just looks nicer, all curved. It may not have those, like, slight flaps that come around, but no, you can change it back to how it was in the other video if you want. Okay. For the next bit, I'll show you these. I haven't really taken these apart that well yet. Yeah. So you'll make this. It's just a 4x4 plate with a 1x4 on the bottom, and this thing, these kind of wedge bricks, that fits onto a 4x8 with a tile on the end, and don't use, for this front bit, don't use a brick. It actually has to be these ones that are flat on the top, otherwise the engines won't turn properly. But there's another plate on the bottom that just fits on the front there, which will attach to this. I hope you get how to make this thing. It's kind of simple, but I'm sure you could kind of improvise. There's this bit as well, which is just for those weird things that poke out of the bottom of the Harrier, but that attaches to this part like this. Now, we just put it all on the side. This whole thing goes on the side like this, and it's almost mirrored. See, I've got a white one there, but because I couldn't find another dark grey one, but don't worry about that. You build this mechanism for the refueling, and basically how that differs from the other one is you've got another one of these sloped bricks here on the top. You get rid of this piece and these pieces and replace them with some long cheese slopes and this assembly. and just a brick over there. I should have actually put the wings on first, because this kind of locks the wings in place. I'll do that at the end though. You can kind of force it past. Anyway, the back's looking a bit bare, so we'll do that. Now, to start off the back of the jet, we build this thing. It's got a large wedge piece with slopes. You can probably see how that's made. It's kind of not that hard, and either way, it's inconsequential to the final jet if you build it slightly differently. But this is the back. Yeah, and I built another one of these to mirror it. Now for the middle, or for the tail rather, you build something that looks like this. Now, I hope that's a good enough angle. I've used a light grey piece there. I want it to be dark grey. The placing of these pins is essential, and I'll show you why. You need them for the angle on this part. So the back pin goes into that part here. The front pin goes into the hole in the middle of the plate on the top, giving it a slight angle. And next, we build this assembly. Now, it's effectively a tower of like these Technic bricks, and then a double-sided snot brick, studs not on top brick. I'm not being vulgar. And these Technic pieces that just slides on. Now, yeah, for the front one, you'll be putting this piece in. That just will help it hold to the rest of the jet. And then this all goes on the front part there. If we're okay, yeah, like that. And then there's another thing that goes down from the top, using more Technic bricks and some plates. And then finally, for the next bit, we'll use some upside down upside down snot bricks and plates on the bottom. Give it that kind of underneath of the tail fin, like an extra fin that's underneath. It's kind of cool. It makes it look almost ship-like, that Harrier. And then this other one on the other side covers everything up. Ooh, that part's too far. That's the wrong way around. That's better. See? Then the tail wings are kind of complicated. I mean, they're not, but the way that they fit in is complicated. You've got this kind of clip piece there that doesn't clip onto anything, but it stops it going up and down on the jet. You put those on either side, like so, and it's actually an improvement from the last video that I made. So then it all slides together, which I think is really nice. We can do the wings now, I suppose. Generally you leave the wings for the end as if they're the best bit or something, but here are the landing gear, the back landing gear. I've used like a candlestick piece in there. And I've put, I don't know what these pieces are, they're like plates but with a Technic hole underneath. But I've put them in the holes of the 4x6 plate. Used some wedge plates for the angle of the wing, and here's the back flaps to hold in the thrust. It's kind of simple to follow, it's big but it's simple to follow. This one just fits on there nicely, and you make two of those just mirrored. Miracle, I didn't actually end up putting this piece on properly. That will make it a lot easier to put each wing on. And then when the wing's on, finally, you can put that whole side assembly on. Oh, no, there's something I've forgotten. The side assembly has to come later. Now for the cockpit. Okay, the very front of the nose uses two snot bricks back to back on a plate. This thing is I think it's the radar or something like that, and here's a cone with a dome on the front, and I think that's really, really accurate, which I'm very pleased about, that those pieces exist. Next, we build these. I hope you see how to make them, because this all kind of has to be exact. That goes on there, and there's the controls, which go on some more snot plates on a brick. And then these, but first of all, this 2x6, which I've forgotten about. There was one on the inside of there. These go in here like this. Now, I'm just going to put one on because the other needs to come a bit later. Then these go on, well, that will go on that side. I'll attach it to the body of the Harrier. Right, like... oh no, I've forgotten something major. This thing. No wonder I couldn't fit that to the Harrier. This will be a bit hard to explain, this assembly, but it's kind of like the back ones. You've got these not Technic, those hinges that click as you turn them. There's a snot assembly on the sides, and two plates with these kind of vent pieces, not because I want them to be vents, just because they're the right angle. And you put that on the back of the cockpit. Then we can put these side bits on finally. I did things a bit out of order there. Right, very good. And then this boat like piece goes right on the bottom, or does it? It does. It should. There we go. And then this piece goes on. We'll attach one side to the Harrier. Look, you need to get the wheel in there. It can be a bit obstreperous to work with. Then the other plate on the other side. Then finally we can put these ones on. Now that's not all, because there's the flaps, the hatches for the landing gear. This is basically them. They're all kind of the same apart from one which isn't the same. This is the different one. It's got this other 1x2 plate on the top which holds the landing gear in. That one needs to go in first always, otherwise it's hard to get the other one in. And finally the final two engines. And that's it really. That's the Harrier. Well, I hope that this video is informative and you got a good idea of how to make the thing. I'm really proud of it, and I hope you will be too when you've built it.